Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a busy time. Glad you stopped. I hope you were able to relax a little bit and enjoy this video. Okay, so we're in March now. Yay! It's been kind of a hard beginning of the month. I think I mentioned the last time with my video, my mom was sick. My mom had COVID and she was in the hospital and she was vaccinated. But when you have advanced lung disease and she had asthma, and asthma led to COPD, which is called cardiopulmonary obstructive disease. And the COVID inflamed that, and she was put on hospice. And in our area, there was only one hospice that took positive COVID patients. And because of the restrictions currently in our area, only one person was able to see her in the hospital. So that was my stepfather. Thankfully, when they moved her to hospice, they had relaxed that, and I was able to go down and see her. You know, being a retired nurse, and I think everybody, you know, when you watch the news and you see all that stuff, we've all become quite aware of how to prevent COVID, how to avoid COVID, but also with my history, I'm familiar with barrier nursing, which is one of the infectious disease ways nurses avoid infections. So with PPE and an N95 mask, I went to see my mother. She was actively dying when I saw her. There were signs of being close to death, impending death. I know that from being a hospice nurse. I was able to use my phone and have her talk to my sisters, or she wasn't able to talk, they talked to her. And you could see her face relax, and I called her siblings and was able, most of them were able to say their goodbyes via video, and went my stepbrother and his wife. So it was an honor. I've cared for people besides, you know, my family and at the end of life, but was able to play some of the music she loved when I was a little girl and some prayers. And I like to say I felt the angels come in. There's just kind of a calmness, a peace, and sanctity. That's what I call the angels coming in. I was able to tell my mom if she was ready to go to the light, and it was okay if she went. She died about 13 hours later. They were keeping her comfortable. She had care for her pain and for her shortness of breath. So it's been a hard couple weeks, or well, it's a week, it's 9 days. It's just, you know, I say that the grief kaleidoscope of emotions opened up. You know, when someone dies, there's all these emotions come up. You know, for me, some of the hard ones with my mother's other illnesses. It's hard when you have a conflicted relationship with a parent when they go. That can bring up a lot of issues. You grieve the loss of the relationship and of the person. I'm thankfully was able to be present closer than some of my family. It's just a difficult time. So setting up, because she had COVID, doing a virtual life celebration, dealing with the funeral director and all the different family members, which they've been wonderful. It's kind of a sad time, you know, it's like, so still in the study. I have 12 shots left. So each week that I'm on the drug that is used for RA and some autoimmune diseases, and then the drug that is a low-dose chemo drug. So I have 2 weeks left to do that and there's a week in between where they just do the labs. So I'm excited. This Thursday I go in and get the shots, start them for the weekend. And then the next week is my daughter's spring break. It's what we do in the States. You know, it used to be spring break, I think probably something around planting. Now it's just college kids go out and go to the beach and have fun, party. Elementary school kids like my daughter, I don't know, we'll probably go up and go take a trip up, see the ice cream factory, do some barbecue in the hill country, something. We'll do something. And then the weekend after that is when we'll have a virtual life celebration for my mother. I have a dear friend that is helping me get that set up. So it's just a bunch. You know, I'm doing okay. When it started, my mother's illness started when it was about 1 year and 2 months ago. I knew this was happening. I mean, my previous career, nursing, and I put myself in counseling because I had a hard time with her refusing certain treatments. So if anything, I'm glad that she got the hospice that she did want, and everything that could have been done was done, and she's at peace. It's been a blessing for that peace. It's just all the little bits of tying things up. You know, my siblings are doing well. It's just a hard thing to go through. And I'm sorry I started off this way, but you know, it's like, I'm not the only one. We live in tumultuous times that has lost somebody. There's a lot of people that have lost people. Some people have lost whole families. Some people, I mean, look what's going on in the Ukraine. I mean, we're in tumultuous times. It's kind of like that Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. We are living in it. So that is what is happening. So what have I been up to? So besides grieving, you know, crying, laughing, just being, had my maternal cousin, one of my cousins came down this weekend, and her little one had a cheerleading contest, or competition. Oh my Lord. So I got to see the whole cheerleading competition. Wow. Even before that, I mean, earlier this week, I had planned to go to see the Dropkick Murphys. I love punk music. I'm a very nice person that likes loud music. One thing over the past pandemic, what I've missed is feeling the tactile, primal thing of the music vibrating your body, feeling feeling the sounds penetrate you. I love that. And with ALS, you know, I would never have guessed that it's probably over 30 months I've been diagnosed, that I'd still be able to attend the concerts. I think that the clinical trial I'm on, it's phase 1, is helping. You know, they said it's a mixed bag, but I was able to stand and do that, which was awesome. There was one of the bands that opened up was the Rumjacks, Australian punk. Awesome, really good band. The Bomb Pops played, you know, a true punk band. But it was a really fun time, and I went with my best friend. She was present with me, and it seems like anybody I really care about, I drag with the people I care about to punk shows. And they love me enough, they go with me. So we had fun. Went out to eat, and then this weekend went to a cheer competition for my little cousin, and it's a totally different world. It was at one of the stadiums for my school district, actually, so it was pretty awesome. They live in a different part of the state, and they stayed with me and did that. And I kind of came up right to my limitations. Now I can still walk, though not so beautifully today. Today I'm taking short little steps, and I'm not pushing myself at all because I exhausted myself. But went up the elevator. I have disabled parking. Went up the elevator, and the bleachers, you know, their internal bleachers, kind of a steep thing, long steps, and I had a handrail. But all of the special seatings, for special needs or to take a nap. So I guess if you ever have to go to one of those things and you're in a chair or walker or something like that, if you're going to be in a school event or bleacher type situation, they have those sittings, try to get there early. It seems like they're really packed up. So I made it down, watched them, little cheerleaders going everywhere. Oh, it's really interesting the way they do it. I mean, it was televised for people that watch that cheer type channel. You had little tiny little things that were, jumping around, doing things. And then they even had some of the college kids that were for one of the Sam Houston State cheerleaders. They all had several of the females had things on their knees and they were tossing up in the air. And I'm like, oh my God, I can just imagine the injuries when they fall. But really skilled, really, really skilled. They were doing backflips and forward flips and things I've never been able to do. But my little cousin actually placed first in her junior division and they won grand champion. So yay! And found that I was a little accommodating. So just, instead of waiting for the elevator, let's walk down. I paid for it later. But it was a lovely visit. We went out to a food truck park that's not too far away. And the food trucks weren't that great on a Sunday, but it was really lovely to have my middle sister and my cousin and everyone talk. It was nice. All the little kids, there's a playground, they got to play. My youngest got to play. Just busy. So today I have been relaxing. I led a meditation. I probably should record a meditation for you guys, but it's just getting the time to do it. Give me a little bit longer and I'll do it, okay? So disease-wise, what am I noticing? I have a little more energy, though I get exhausted if I push myself too far. It's kind of like that fine balance of, not pushing yourself too far until you go into spasticity and not sitting too much so you don't use it or you lose it. And you will lose it when you have ALS. It's just, don't miss out. It's like trying to energy conserve is really important. So in my grief, I have not been that great at doing it. I had a lot of nervous energy when my mom was getting really sick. So I put it into, organizing the house, doing this, doing that, faxing, filing, doing all these little busy works. It helped. Hell and high water, I'm not going to be doing the baseboards. I will hire someone to do that. But it's, just been a time. It's like I am okay with death. I know that had a book, it's called A Year to Live, that I'm rereading now. I started it when I was in 27. I know it sounds weird. I was a nurse, went to nursing school. I was accepted into my program when I was 19 years old. So ages 21, 22, I got my license and I was practicing. So I've been, I had friends that were gay men when I was a teenager. In high school, one of my closest friends was a gay man or boy. I lost a lot of friends to AIDS, and working in ER or in ICU, you see people pass. So the Buddhist practice of preparing for death, and Christians do it. I'm sure Muslims do it. Everybody, Hindu, whatever. It's something that's universal. You will be born, you will die. So I did that for a year, and I found a lot of peace and freedom and life. Because when you concentrate on death, sometimes it makes you appreciate life so much. So I picked up this book with a friend of mine, and we're going to practice it. And on the third page, it says, everyone should do this. It's just contemplating your mortality will help you enjoy life. And it says, if you have ALS or advanced cancer or something like that, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. You need to read the book right now and practice. It's like, oh gee, thank you. I have definitely looked at my life. I did the Swedish cleanse with the move. Gave away all the little half projects that I knew I'd never get around to doing. I'm trying to spend the moments in time with people I care about. I've fought to try to get my mom the care that she needed and let go of expectations with it. And I'm thankful. I felt like the words that I had said weren't being heard, but at the end, choices were made that fulfilled what her original wishes were. So I was thankful that I could be present, that I could be there for my family as well, and that arm that allowed people to see there. So it's, there's, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to grieve, a time to laugh, turn, turn, turn. That was one of the songs I played by the Byrds for my mom. And it makes me think of my mom, I'm glad that my mom doesn't have to see me. I don't think she would have handled it well, go through further with this disease. I don't think she could have handled it. So that's a blessing. And, my father died 12 years ago. My parents had an acrimonious divorce. It just didn't get along. They did for 13 years, but then they didn't. Go figure that they died 12 years and 6 days apart. And then I had an uncle that died, and his funeral, when he was found, he was a single man, and his funeral was, 11 years ago yesterday. It's like, so all my family members have died within this little period of time. No, my Uncle Ken died of ALS, and I think he died maybe in February or January, I can't remember. So there's a season. So this is that season. And I hope to heck when I go, it's not during this time. I don't want to add it on for my family. But so I've been doing these deep meditations and crying and laughing and doing everything you do, because grief is not one thing that just keeps you in one moment. If anything, the channel changes over and over and over again. I like to say grief, it leaves a hole. Life grows around that hole, and every now and then it comes back up and those emotions come. But it's just being mindful of the emotions that are brought, memories that are brought, not clinging to them, not getting into them, not making any major decisions. So I'm just thankful I have so much love and support around me. I really do. So doing that, I don't know. I'm just trying to be gentle. Got a peach tree last year, and it was warm this weekend. Now it's cold again. It's Texas, you can have all 4 seasons in one day. But I'm trying to figure out if my peach tree survived. So I only got 1 peach last year. So if it doesn't start to grow a little bit, I'm gonna go plant another one in a different part of the yard. So lots of laughter this weekend, smiles, some backflips, some great music last week, good friends, family. I'm a blessed person, Though with doing all the activity, my gait, the way I walk, is much shorter. My legs are just really fatigued. So I would say, instead of being accommodating, when someone says, "Oh, do you want to go downstairs?" you should probably say, "No, let me do that." If to use a walker, yes, use the walker, use the cane. When I go to events like that, I may start using the power chair so that I save the ability and prevent the exhaustion. It's not like I'm going to build muscle, because when you have the nerves are not connected, or the motor neurons in ALS aren't connected, muscles, when you work them out, break. And if they don't have good nerve connection, they don't rebuild and bulk up. Instead, they just get weaker. So it's kind of like that fine balance. You have to do some, but not too much. Some, but not too much. I can't say ALS is a tightrope. It's more like a seesaw. And that seesaw can change, sometimes by the day, sometimes by the month, sometimes by the week, sometimes by the year. You just never know. So I'm here. Eventually I will be through this part of my grief. The kaleidoscope will go away, and I'll be across the major waters of my grief and towards the other side. So just going to do a lot of self-care, a lot of being gentle, a lot of hugging my family, and being present. The biggest gift is to be present. So that is my little story. I know that everybody has been having some interesting times. I mean, my heart goes out to everybody in Europe, and especially those that are in the Ukraine, and everybody that has lost or suffered from COVID. There is always hope. And if you think about it, cold comfort, everything is, nothing's permanent. Impermanence, things will change. So take care of yourself and take care of each other. And if you can, I know if you turn on the news, there are things that are scary there are things that are sad, but try to find something in your day that makes you smile, something that is beautiful, even if it's the comfort of, just feeling your breath in, your breath out, a good book, a good song, a prayer, a meditation, a good chat with your friend, or a good cup of tea. Just take a moment to appreciate one little part of your day. If you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it. Well, I'll be back with another video, hopefully a little happier, a little less somber. Just take care of yourselves, okay? Thanks.